Hi and welcome to Natural Aesthetics. So for today's video I've got something a little bit different. I'm going to interview a fellow natural trainer who's been training for a long time, not specifically in bodybuilding, more martial arts, but he's developed a very good physique as a consequence of his consistent weightlifting over the years. So before we start though, I'd just like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You want to see more true natural bodybuilding videos. If you enjoy the video and find it useful, then please give it a thumbs up and check out my Instagram. The link is in the description box below. So without further ado, I welcome Craig to the channel. Thanks, so nice to have you on the channel, Craig. So you're a fellow natural, which is pretty rare, unfortunately these days. So how long have you been training in the gym?
Gym, I suppose, I started when I was about, well, actually no, I was 16, because you couldn't train any earlier than that, I don't think, back then. So I'm 39 now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like when you see all the kids in the gym now, I mean, I don't think you was allowed, was you, until you was about 6, and even then I think I had to be with my dad or whoever. So. But yeah, no, gym and that, I'm 16 years old.
Wow, so 23 years.
24 years, yeah.
Have you been consistent in the weights room since that time?
Yeah. So I started martial arts when I was 5, and as you progress, one of the things was, it was about balance as well, because obviously everyone's stronger on one side than the other, so it's recommended to do the weights. And yeah, like as soon as I got in there, then started a schedule program, and it's stuck pretty simple.
And that's been consistent non-stop throughout?
Yeah, that was just followed the program from day one really, because you had to progress.
Yeah. And what's the most amount of time you've had off the gym, if anything?
I've never had time off the gym except for this COVID stuff. So that was that was the first time really. So even injuries, like I don't have time off because you won't come back with it.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to work around it, haven't you?
That's it. Yeah.
So what specific martial arts do you practice in, and have you won any events or tournaments?
Yeah, teach karate, jiu-jitsu, weapons. Full for England karate. Undertook Donovan at Greece, and won jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you think that weights positively impacts your martial arts performance? Because there's like this kind of typical mindset with a lot of fighters still that like weights make you slow.
Yeah, there's always that stigma. It makes you too big and bulky and slows you down. It's complete opposite.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Just increases your ability to strike fast and with power.
Yeah, and move quicker. You know, even little things, instead of like just moving from your head, you move from your core, and everything's short and sharp and more powerful. So.
Cool. Okay, so what training protocol are you currently following in the gym for your weight specifically?
Weights is pretty much a lot of pulling, because punching powers you pull in, and obviously when you're grappling, you know, you're pulling people up out obviously and throwing people. So pretty much have a spine of exercises. So your usual bench press, lat pull downs, curls, anything like that really. Chin ups, yeah. And that's the other thing as well, always mix the body weights up with the weights as well. So you do more reps on the body weight exercises, and then you've got obviously the weights. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, I mean, you can add the power, so if you're bench pressing, you can add that to your technique when you're punching. And the other stuff is, if you get someone that's twice your size and you've got to grapple them, or you're going to be wrestling with them, you've got to get used to using that weight. So sometimes my actual technique might not look too good to the outsider. You might go, oh no, you're not isolating the muscles and all that. And I will be using momentum, because when you fight, you need to find that little gap sometimes to try and build your power into. So it's slightly different.
Cool. That was going to bring me on to my next question. Are there any unique exercises that you do for yourself that don't see often done in the gym that help you out?
I think you don't generally see like the explosive exercises, do you? Like I know yourself, like when you like clean and jerks or those sort of things, you don't see them anymore. And just generally things where you sort of connect your body as well. So it's no good to me to be strong in like have really big biceps and not be able to move. So I've got to stay flexible and strong as well. So I've got to keep that range of movement. So not so much anything specific, nothing you haven't seen before, I don't suppose. Although you don't see many people do various chin-ups, yeah, they sort of do, and they might do something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
sort of a forgotten exercise really. Most people tend to do the lat pull downs or the static machine work. Chins, you can't really beat, you know.
Yeah, see, the other thing is I'll do things like when you hold your arm straight, legs out, and I might walk slowly up to its control as well, and nice and slow. So, but when you engage your stomach as well, you're cutting off your legs in that swing. So to control that as well makes your arms and your lats work.
Your lats
so,
engage as well.
while bringing in the stomach exercise. So yeah, there's various different things like that. But the funny thing is, I was doing them. Actually, some of those exercises before I started the gym. Well, when I was a teenager, and people come up to me and go, "Oh, is that a new exercise?" I go, no, it's just that people just don't see it anymore.
It's a forgotten exercise, unfortunately. I mean, most people don't train abs these days properly, and they don't have the midsection as a consequence, you know.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, any advice that you would give a young natural that's coming into the gym and sees all these people taking gear? Because unfortunately, it's now the norm. We're so unusual to be natural. It sounds ridiculous, but it is the way it is. What advice would you have for them to mentally stay strong and take the natural route, even though it will take a longer period of time to get where you want to get to?
I think first off, you'd say you might see this person now and they look fantastic. Wait till 5 years down the line and they can't walk and they're all crippled up, because they all do end up like that.
One way or another.
All of them, especially the older ones. They go, we all used to know what we was getting back in the day. Now they don't know. You know, that's why we're not affected and all mangled up and they've all got mental problems. You think you're normal. So there's that. But I think the thing that a lot of personal trainers nowadays, because they go and they come through pretty quick. They go and get qualification. I think they think it's an easy living, and they'll go out and teach within a year or 2 years, and they haven't actually gone through much themselves, because your training's going to evolve over the years. It takes a lot of experience, doesn't it? We've all got to have knockbacks and that, and you've got to learn from them. But no one ever mentions the mindset and discipline or your spirit, you know, that sort of thing, your character. Everything's physical all the time. And I personally would suggest going down that route, because your body will look good as a consequence. If you're a healthy mind and you're training hard, that will reflect in your body no matter what. And I don't know about yourself, but I look at these bodybuilders. We go to a gym where they've got the stairs. You see them struggling up and down those stairs, and they're out of breath, and you know their heart attack waiting to happen. Then you see them in the gym, and you think, oh yeah, they're good, but that doesn't look good to me. No. I can tell someone if they look healthy and fit and strong, and you think, blimey, this guy looks like an athlete. I think that's miles better look
definitely
than the bodybuilder. You know, I'm talking about the massive bodybuilders. I mean, don't get me wrong, some bodybuilders look great. You know, I mean, you look good and fit and strong, but when they've got veins sticking out their ear holes and
it's just the side effects of gear, you know, it's...
You see them walking down the street and people are like, look at that weirdo. They think they look fantastic, but
it's
they stick out the sort of
look, isn't it?
Yeah.
I understand you recovered from a serious back issue and you actually went about, contrary to the doctor's advice, to actually heal that. Can you tell the viewers about how you did that? Because I had a question not too long ago about how to maintain good back health through training. So what did you do?
Very quick thing. I broke my feet and they MRI scanned my back because they thought it might be a nerve problem. MRI scan for the back come back pretty bad. It was a pars defect, which is a break or fracture. 3 bulging discs, spondylosis, severe sciatica, with compression and all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't very good. Doctors wanted to operate straight away, give me prescriptions.
What was the operation they wanted to do?
It was some sort of metal plate they wanted to do.
Fuse a lot back.
Yeah, to basically stop. I think it's more geared towards the sciatica than anything, because they said the back was wearing away. So one doctor was really wanted to go down that route. I went in and saw another doctor as well. I can't remember why, but he was you're too athletic and that to be able. If you have that back thing, it's not going to work. He said it is a metal plate, so you're not going to have the movement or anything. He said it's alright if you're a couch potato and you can't move, it will relieve the sciatica, but if you want to run every day, if you want to be kicking people in the head and everything else like you do, then that ain't going to help you. He said it never works for athletes anyway, which was a weird thing to say when you think that. He actually said it never works.
Shows you to get a second opinion is very, very important.
So he said to me, he said, whatever you're doing, he said, go away and keep doing it. They said, because I do a lot of core work, they said, like, I didn't realise this at the time, it got internal muscles. They said you move from the internal muscles rather than that takes all the pressure off your spine and that, so that's how you're doing it. And the sciatic nerve can be stretched like a muscle, so they said all the stretching you're doing, because when they told me I've got sciatic, I'm thinking, no way, yeah, I get the old pain, but nothing that would stop me doing anything, you know. So I took that on board. I thought, oh, okay, that put my mind at rest as well. I think a lot of these things are mental as well. Once you've been told, oh, you've got a problem there, then you start thinking, oh, so then I thought back to when I was actually started training. The guy used to make me do upside down sit-ups with the old gravity boots or whatever they're called, the boots. So I thought, well, if it's pressing down that way, then common sense would say if you can turn yourself upside down and pull yourself about a bit and stretch your spine, then that should open it up, shouldn't it? So that's exactly what I did. I bought some boots for the boots, I aimed myself upside down. I pulled myself at a certain angle and you can really feel your back spreading. And through my back went pains into my hip and my groin, where it was all pressing down. I didn't realise, because that's one of the things I was worried about, the groin pain. And pretty much cleared that up through hanging upside down, believe it or not.
Wow.
So hanging upside down, and I could feel it all down my hips, and it's not just the back, it does a lot.
It's really, really important, really underused mobility exercise, just to hang upside down really helps. I've seen you do it in the gym and people kind of look at you strangely. If only they were to try it themselves, a lot of their stiffness would go away.
Yeah, and the blood flow as well.
Fantastic. So in your eyes, what are the main benefits of staying natural in the long term over taking steroids, performance enhancing drugs?
I think one would be that every steroid user I've ever known is a lunatic in some way. They're paranoid, they're worried about everything. They think they're not.
They deny it. All of them will deny it.
Yeah, and you watch their behaviour and you think, why are you worried about it? Because I think we were talking about it the other day, is they start off with low self-esteem in the first place. Want to be something. That's why they cheat. You know, they just want that shortcut to be something. So they start with a low ego, low self-esteem. Then they get this ego and look at me. Then they see someone else and they get jealous of them, and then you know they go back to and they're constantly going around that. It's
a vicious cycle, isn't it?
So
So I mean, we've been training gyms for so long, been around gyms. I've been training for years, and you know, there's no getting away from it. Generally speaking, the people that take steroids, they might push themselves up further ahead for a number of months or a year or two, but then you see them a few years later, they're looking exactly the same or worse off. More often is the case, whereas if you're natural, just a nice slow, gradual kind of ascent, you're just chipping away at it, and often you'll look better than the people that are taking steroids if you just be patient enough, you know?
Yeah, and I think in later life you'll look younger, and you can take it further, you can train for the rest of your life, can't
exactly, you? And there's no denying that it affects your mental behaviour, your emotions. There's just no denying it. I've never met anyone that it didn't affect, you know, in a negative way.
Yeah.
So how did COVID affect your physique and your ability to train? Did you manage to continue to do some training?
Yeah, I think this probably actually links on to your last point with the steroid users. That a lot of them, I've been bumping into them in the road, and they've like blown up like balloons, and you know they look dreadful. And they're going, oh, I can't cope. I was annoyed at first, like everyone else, because I'm thinking, why are they taking this away from us?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because there's so much involved in training. You work all those years, and now for something that's not of your doing, or you know, then they're just going, no, you can't do that. That's wrong. But I'm lucky because I already have a load of body weight exercises anyway. Like I said at the start of the interview, it's not just the weight. So I always start off with sit-ups. I always do my press-ups. I always do my chins. So for instance, chin-ups. I was going over the field, hanging off goalposts and things like that, doing my chin-ups. I've always run as well. So I've run. So I sort of saw it as a challenge after a while. And again, it comes down to that mindset. You could sit indoors and go, oh, I can't be bothered and that, but
it's got to get on with it.
But yeah, that's it. It's just what we do, and because you see all these slogans and on people's websites and that train hard and everything else, and never give up. And as soon as something comes their way, they give up and they go, oh, I can't be bothered. It's too hot to train. That's because of the heat wave and that. Everyone's really too hot in it.
One excuse after another.
Yeah, so they can talk, but when it actually comes to doing it, they're quite weak. So
I think the realisation for me is if you can train through COVID, if you can manage to motivate yourself and continue, and you can train for anything.
That's it, yeah.
You can overcome anything, really. So what are your general thoughts on COVID? I know you know my opinion on this, I've done a video on it, but speak openly and say what you think.
It's got to be one of the biggest hoaxes ever, isn't it? I mean, but it's not even a good hoax. People so stupid. You know what I mean? You could tell some of these people there's a monster under their bed, and they won't go to sleep at night. It's just crazy. I mean, all this face mask stuff as well. What do you think?
How did you feel when you put on a face mask for the first time in terms of
I hated it. Breathing is one of my big things. Obviously, cardio is a big part of my training. We have certain breathing it's under control as well, because when you're fighting as well, so it's one thing being fit, you've got to control that fitness. So breathing is important. I can smell someone having a fag like when I'm in a traffic jam 5 cars down, And as soon as I put that face mask on, you can feel the water building up behind you, you can feel it change. And I felt like I had something up my nose as well, like when I took it off for the first time, it's like, where's that come from? And then I'm feeling my hands, and then for me, like when I'm shopping, I don't touch the trolley and then put my hands over my face, but now I'm thinking, oh, I'm pulling it.
It's like common sense has been lost. Things that you wouldn't use to anyway. You wouldn't go and sneeze in someone's face. No. You wouldn't cough at someone. You wouldn't go shopping and then put your hands in your mouth.
Well, if you had COVID, I wouldn't be 2 metres near you anyway. I'd be over there somewhere. Say 2 metres. Nobody would go 2 metres. If this killer disease, this virus, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't affect all this. You see all these people that are trying to get people to wear the face mask. But it doesn't matter. If you want to wear one or not, it doesn't affect me, because I can wear one or not. And that's the point. If you wear one, then I'm trying to protect myself or others. But it doesn't matter if you wear one, does it?
If you feel you want to and you're scared to wear it, that's fine. I'm not gonna say anything against that. It doesn't mean that I have to, because you're already protected. I'm not going to go and sneeze all over you.
Funny thing is, it's all the ones that have got the asthma and all this sort of thing that don't have to wear them. They're the vulnerable ones that are going to catch it.
It's so contradictory. It's ridiculous. It really is. What do you think of the long-term health effects of something like COVID, like physically and emotionally, given that we've had the lockdown, people haven't trained, haven't been able to get to specialist care referrals, now wearing the masks, and the socialising aspect as well, especially for older people? The world's changed completely. How is this going to affect people's health? Because we spoke before about mental health and how important that is for physical health.
I think it's probably part of it. They want everyone to be dumbed down. They want people to start. Well, it's just numbing their brains, isn't it? I mean, if you're just sitting down all day, you're an old person, you're not allowed out, and you're told you can't do this, you can't do that, and nobody's allowed to visit you, and you're just sitting there and you're getting worse and worse. There's a guy 3 doors down, actually, Mick, you know Mick, his dad's got prostate cancer, and he hasn't been getting the right treatment and that, so, and he was getting better. I've seen him, he's been out and about, now all of a sudden, he's slipped back. I'm hearing this all the time, so it's like
countless cases of a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, so they're going, oh, stay in, stay safe for your health. Oh, if you've got cancer, we don't care about you, you can die. Or any other disease, so you think, hang on, they don't care about each other.
In my opinion, it's all statistical manipulation, and it just helps to increase the numbers and the hysteria.
Yeah, I mean, the teachers, the woman next door is a teacher, and she's hardly been at work. And obviously they don't want to go back now.
No, exactly.
So they're fighting for, oh no, it's too soon and all this. Which can sort of understand. No one wants to get paid. Nobody wants to go work. Exactly. They can get paid to start home.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's all part of it.
Well, appreciate that, Craig. Any last sort of comments you want to make to any young trainees that are up and coming and are maybe questioning taking steroids? You know, and will maybe watch this video. What would you say to them?
I think the hardest thing in life is probably to be disciplined at something, take responsibility for yourself or others. And that's the thing, hard work and dedication, all that sort of thing will show. People will look at you in a different light. You will be above those people that take steroids, because if you go into a gym or somewhere, if everyone's doing the steroids and everyone's taking the shortcuts and you're not, you're the special one, not them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they, believe it or not, those people over here that are cheating, they will, and you're doing impressive stuff without it, and you're the one that's always training, never has the time off. They're looking at you going, they're looking at you almost like you're special, and they're going, how does he do it? You know, so people don't look at it from the other side either.
Yeah.
These people are taking the steroids and that because they are weak, and that's why they started in the first place. They can't do what you do. So yeah, and it will benefit you. You'll be a better person as well, because anyone that's dedicated to anything, unless it's going around killing people or something stupid, but if they're dedicated, then it takes a certain person to be able to do that.
Do you think it helps with moral character? Do you think to be disciplined for such a long time and knowing you have to, you're taking a hard route, per se, do you think it helps with building, you know, decent moral character that maybe people on steroids wouldn't, or not necessarily have an easier time of
definitely,
you know,
definitely, because even if you don't realise it, I suppose you are still caring about yourself if you're training properly. So therefore, if you care about yourself, you're more likely to care about other people and see situations better. But you're just being a more caring person in that aspect, where these people don't really care about themselves, because they think, oh, it never happened to me, and they've got this blasé attitude. But the other thing is, fit people, it's quite hard to explain to someone that doesn't actually hasn't actually been through it, but when you're truly fit, your mind opens up, you're more aware, you see things better. Where I talk to people all the time, I think they don't know what's going on.
No.
You know, and I see people walking down the street, and the amount of time someone walks in front of me, bloody car, because they're just looking at something. No.
Yeah. Zombified.
Yeah, so you pick things up quicker. I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but you'll become almost more intelligent, because intelligence isn't just learning stuff and repeating it. Intelligence is actually absorbing stuff and making it your own knowledge and using it, and you'll be doing that anyway, because it's so involved, isn't it, training? I mean, you think it's physical, but obviously you've got to get yourself out there and do it, and give yourself little games almost. I mean, everyone has bad days.
Exactly. It's all a game, isn't it?
And you've got to motivate yourself. It's all right having someone to help you and having a training partner, but you'll always be training together. You're never really going to push yourself. And I hardly know anyone that trains themselves for over a long period of time and kept it up and still is maintaining like really high standards into their 30s and 40s like they was in their 20s. I don't know if you can think of anyone in particular.
Very difficult to do. I mean, I guess the good thing about natural bodybuilding is that it's quite an old sport, really, because it takes so long. It's not reliant on the skills that you need to be good at martial arts, for example. You're just building muscle. So you can kind of accumulate it over a number of years, and a lot of these guys don't get to the peaks until the late 30s, 40s, or even late 40s in some cases. That's the benefit of being a natural bodybuilder, in my opinion. You can see progress well past those typically that would take steroids. Yeah, appreciate that, Craig. So 23 years natural, pretty rare these days. So really nice to talk to, and hopefully the audience kind of learn a little bit some of your philosophies, and hopefully it enables people to just consider staying natural rather than going down that route of taking steroids, because it's so valuable and so rewarding, isn't it? Yeah. Right, thanks for that, Craig. Appreciate your time. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I'll leave Craig's Instagram and YouTube link in the description box below, so check out what he's got to offer. He's obviously a master at what he does, but especially weaponised martial arts. If you've got any questions about online training as well, email naturalaesthetic@outlook.com. Stay strong.